we need to take a minute and talk about what it's actually like to work on a film set. So this is how it works. You're a crew member on a film set. The night before you're supposed to show up, you receive a call sheet, which has a bunch of specific information related to the scenes that you're going to be shooting, the characters who are going to be on screen, the rest of the crew who's going to be there, the locations you're expected to be at, the time you're expected to arrive, etc. So you show up on time, along with everyone else. The cinematographer, the director, the actors, the makeup artist, the wardrobe artist, the whole art department, the sound engineer. Everybody's there. Typically, for the first hour or two, the art department is setting up the location to look how the director wants. And the gaffer is working with the cinematographer to set up the lighting to get that location looking really pretty. So we're in a room. The art department has signed off with the director. The lighting department has signed off with the director. The camera is in place. Now it's time for the director and the actors. So while the art department and the lighting department are setting up the environment, oftentimes the actors will be rehearsing their lines or running through blocking. So the director and the actors block and rehearse the scene. The lighting department lights the scene, and the art department arts the scene. So the art department is happy, the lights are set up, the sound is set up, the camera is set up, everything's pretty much ready to go to record this scene. Now the actor steps in. And typically, the director and the actors are going to have some on-set rehearsals before they actually record. They're going to run through the blocking and the lines a few times. They're going to make sure that they're all on the same page about what's going on. They're going to make any tweaks that they need to, and then they're actually going to do the filming. In preparation for filming, a director, often in collaboration with the director of photography, cinematographer, will make a shot list. The shot list is a full breakdown of how he wants to film the script. The script by itself is not a movie, and most screenplays don't even delineate what kinds of shots we're using. The script usually only covers the basic action and the dialogue, so a shot list is crucial to help everyone on the crew know what angles we're shooting and what ways we're covering the action and the dialogue that are going to happen. Because we shoot out of order, it is very easy to miss lines of dialogue and certain actions that are really important by missing a single shot. So you have to cover the entire script with your shot list beforehand. The shot list is usually a really good indicator of the plans that the director had and will give you a pretty good idea of where to go in the edit. So a script supervisor is a person in charge of essentially tracking all of this information. They make sure that every piece of dialogue and every action, every line in the script has been accounted for and actually shot out by the time that the film crew wraps. They keep track of the shot list and the shooting schedule and make sure that we're following according to what the director had planned to do. They also keep record of any changes that were made at the plans on set. So a script supervisor is not only referring to what the plan was, but they're recording what actually happened. Often on a set, if you're scrapped for time, if you're behind on the schedule, and you're in a pinch, you have to combine shots. You have to simplify your plans. You have to try to get coverage of the scene and grab all the most important moments without doing it in quite so complex of a manner as you maybe first intended to. And the script supervisor is there to make sure that all of that gets recorded so that you, as the editor in post-production, can have a record of what happened on set and understand the footage that comes to you. So understanding a script, understanding a shot list, and understanding script supervision notes is going to be super helpful as an editor. All right, the art department is happy, the lighting department is happy, wardrobe and makeup are happy, the talent are in their places, they've blocked, they've rehearsed, the director has told them what they're going to do, everybody's ready to film. This is what actually happens when we go to run a take. The assistant director will call quiet on set, and his production crew will echo him. Everybody's supposed to hold their work and be completely silent so that the microphones don't pick up anything except for the actors. Then one of the camera assistants will hold up the slate, all of the pertinent information facing the camera. The sound engineer will speed, sound speeds. The camera operator will speed, camera speeds. The camera assistant will call out the shot and the take and clap. Scene 1 alpha, take 1 mark. The crew will hold, everyone will wait. When the actors are ready, the director will call action. The actors will then perform the scene. They'll do the appropriate blocking, the appropriate dialogue. They'll play off of each other. and they'll go for as long as was planned on, typically a significant portion of the scene, or until the director cuts them off. Now, when the director cuts them off to correct them or to make a small tweak, that doesn't necessarily mean that the camera and the audio are going to stop speeding. It is a cardinal rule for sound and camera engineers to not cut unless specifically told to do so by the directorial or production teams. The director and the assistant director will work together to decide when they cut. Sometimes a director will have a very small change, and so instead of cutting and making a new take, we'll go again. We'll go from the top. We'll go back to 1, and then we'll do a new pass. So you'll learn later in assistant editing to mark your passes. A pass is every time the actor performs their line or that portion of the scene within the same take again. So you can have 4 or 5 or 10 passes in the same take. The take ends when camera and sound stop rolling. They only do so when the director or the production team tells them to cut. After we cut, there's usually a bit of a conversation between the crew about whether or not what we got was good. If the director didn't feel good about it, we'll go again. If the director felt good about it, he'll make sure that the actors felt good about it. If the actors wanted to do again, we'll do it again. If the director and the actors feel good about it, generally we'll move on unless there was a technical issue, such as wardrobe, makeup, sound, or camera. If the camera went out of focus at the wrong time, if there was a wardrobe malfunction, if the audio spiked, there's a lot of times where specific technicians on set will ask for another take to make sure that their portion is done successfully. So the general rule on a good, well-functioning set is that we don't move on to the next setup until everyone is happy with at least one take.